Become a man of distinction with Rugged Evolution Beard Care. Order our scented beard oils and beard balms to help you maintain and grow the perfect beard. Order today. Try our men's care products like the full body exfoliating cleansing bars, body wash, smooth stash, and more. Log on to our website or download our app to place your orders. Rugged Evolution Beard Care. We're your luxury but affordable men's care line. And remember,
Rugged is the new smooth.
All right, fam, welcome back to another great episode of our Smooth Club Podcast, a show where everyday men discuss everyday topics. I'm your truly, Mr. Andrew Gavin, and with me I have my bro since third grade, Mr. Jonathan Jones, and then TV host, producer, stand-up comedian, host of In Your City.
New friend.
Okay, Mr. Ciroc Fox.
He talked about the old one. I'm a new one. Hello.
we got some new faces here with the co-host and booth, and we're excited. Fellas, how is everybody doing today?
Good.
I'm
good. There was disciplinary actions on my first episode for the foul language, and I'll make sure that I am on my P's and Q's for number 2.
He says that now. It's not.
It won't be. It won't be
at all. It won't be at all.
It's all talk.
Oh man, well, fellas, look, this episode really is all about branding, man. We're all business owners, entrepreneurs. We know how important it is, and it's we want to help change the narrative on this show, right? We want to help change the narrative when it comes to, guys our age, men of color, trying to accomplish and just, provide good information when it comes to businesses. And I know a lot of people that want to, invest in themselves and want to, take a leap of faith when it comes to business. I could just tell you like quick story. So I invested last year in my first big rig. I'm kind of entering the trucking industry. So I now have 2 rigs through a family friend who's been doing it for about 33 years. He was telling me how, the trucking industry was still making money during the pandemic, which, okay, you caught my attention because that meant no matter during a pandemic, anything like that, you still got to make money. 2 is something that not a lot of people are aware of because they're like, truck driver, I don't want to do a truck driving or anything, man. Well, you can invest in one, you can hire a truck driver and still, split it in half and, make your money from there. So, again, that's me testing my waters, trying something new, outside of just Rugged Evolution Beard Care. Now I'm entering the, Rugged Evo Trucking. So, it was always a gamble. I'm not a gambler. I don't gamble at all. I've been to Vegas, love Vegas, never gambled at all. But I know you got to take that leap of faith and you can't be scared when it comes to investing. So, I want to ask you guys as far as why did you want to become your own boss? What was that first thought process saying like, this is the reason why I want to become my own boss? Jay, I'm gonna start off with you.
For me, I mean, my business happened over the pandemic too. And like, I've always like a free thinker, like ideas, they come to me like that. And that was just 2 things that I was always that related to me came together, and it's a way that I can express myself in a way and still put out a message and talk about stuff. Cause like, I mean, I'm on a podcast, but like I don't have a lot to say, but when I have something to say, it's really
He'd be quiet the whole podcast and he'd be like, yo, are you really existing? Like, damn, am I?
And so, no, like that. It's just something, you got to find it like a hobby, something, because everybody wants a get quick, rich scheme and don't last.
And that's always the worst because I kind of I was thinking when I was thinking just like that, anytime you want to rush into something, it's always going to find more issues. And then you got to be all, damn, I wasn't looking for that. I wasn't looking for that. It's just like, if you speed up cooking process, if you're speeding up a meal, most likely that meal's not going to be fully done. It's going to be something's raw, or what they say, fast food is the worst food that can kill us. But if you take your time and really cook it thoroughly, okay, this is actually good for me, right? Yeah. So the same with get rich quick schemes. You're going to find a scheme involved in that. And you're going to be like, man, I already invested all my money into that. And it's sad because
Crypto.
people don't want to put the work in. People think that, okay, because this person can hit success so quick, then I can do so. And businesses, corporations, they hire those, those spokespeople to say, look, I done this and overnight I just made this much money. Or you have the, what do you call it, T-vangelist or televangelist that will say, hey, look, I heal some hands on you. You needed something with your bill. Well, guess what? I've sprinkled a little miracle water on that bill, and now you got $500,000. Look at that. Look at that. So, so many people take advantage of others in different ways, and it's true. It's truly sad. But, again, I'm bringing the question to you, Ciroc, why did you want to become your own boss?
So I actually started off life, institutionalized. I was, first I was a volunteer firefighter. And then when I came a little bit older, I enlisted in the United States Marine Corps. So I lived the first good half of my adult years being told what to do. And seeing the results of that, seeing the results of someone else controlling my actions. You had some free will when you led a platoon or led a group of men to do something specific, but ultimately you were following orders. And there was one night during this whole me being a hard charger Marine, there was one night where I had freedom. And I saw the results of that freedom. And once I had that taste, I knew that the only person that should be telling me what to do, the only person who should be telling me when to work, how long to work, and what to work towards is me. Because I got the sauce and fuck everybody else. And after I had that freedom, I just nothing else felt right. Nothing else felt like I belonged. I tried regular jobs after I left the Marine Corps to try to subsidize that loss of income from the Marine Corps to just doing stand-up comedy. You can imagine a brother just starting, you're not gonna make a whole lot of money. In fact, I was actually paying to perform. So it's like, what do you do?
In a sort of way of advertising, in a sort of way of promoting, just like whatever startup brand, I always say, it takes money to make money. So you gotta know that when you start a business, it's always gonna take financially, it's gonna be the main thing. Your first 2 years, you might not make money because you think of, okay, I can do word of mouth, I can just, do flyers, whatnot. But at the end of the day, you have promotion. And the hard part is promotion is expensive as hell, whether it's radio ads, newspaper ads, TV commercial ad, everything is expensive now when it comes to promotion. I think now with social media, like, Facebook, IG, they provide
it makes it a little easier.
Yeah, it makes it a little easier, more or less.
It makes it harder too, though.
What you mean?
Harder as far as
because they say you see 2,000 images a day. It's like somebody who sees something like it's just another image. But the thing is that always keeps me in my mind is that you just got to catch somebody on that right day where they will click on that link or they will buy that.
Well, and that's where creativity comes into play too.
That's the thing that sticks with me is just because you posted something, people not responding to it, it's like I caught them on the wrong day. It's like because sometimes I'll post something, a random story about my clothes, and then somebody because I caught them on the right day, then they bought it. It's like I always have support. It's the stuff, but it's just getting people to that next level.
I get what you mean now. I posted a video one time on TikTok and it went viral. Right? It was my very first time ever going viral on TikTok. I posted the very next day a similar video, just a little different, a little further along on the story of that set. I was doing stand-up comedy, and 12 people saw it. Now I'm like, okay, how did 70-something thousand people see this first video in a few seconds? But then the very next day, I only get 12 views the whole day. And it's like, what do you do?
It's just it sucks when it comes to, for me, social media, because they always say, okay, during this time you want to make this post, or during that time, it's all about the perfect timing. I feel like when it comes to social media, at least posting when it comes to businesses, whether it's okay, you want to do say 3-4 posts a day, make sure you do it around this time slot, lunchtime or breakfast time, or later in the evening once people are off work. I mean, it's hard because not everybody knows. People just think, okay, if I just do a continuation of posting during one day, maybe they'll look at me as far as an annoying advertising on radio or TV. Because you have those annoying ads Jesus Christ, Joel the Hammer Stick, or
What? No,
something.
what's the one where they made you go to college? What are you doing? Just sitting there on the couch. You ain't doing shit, man. You ain't doing nothing with your life. Go to college. Go to college. Go to college.
And then it's like at the end, you say, "You still they call?"
Yeah. I messed around, got a degree, and still felt like shit listening.
I mean, it's crazy. Now, I heard you talk about as far as you done other jobs that when you consider like you work for
I sold suits. Yeah.
Are we talking 3 pieces? What kind of stuff we
real
talking
suits.
about?
I used to work for a suit company. I was a haberdasher, and I used to work for a suit company. And
not a haberdasher. Okay.
Yeah, I was pretty good. I was on some real cool stuff, and I started modeling for the company too. And every day I woke up thinking I'm about to jump off a building because I hated it. It was just like our guest Isaac, what he said. I don't know if he came up yet or not. In the future, he's going to say this.
He will be.
But he's like, I woke up miserable. And I'm like, why is life like this? I'm making money. Mm-hmm. My family's fed. Mm-hmm. I got a nice truck sitting outside. Why am I sad? Mm-hmm. And it's because I'm not doing what I'm meant to do. And I had to change it. Now, okay, I'm driving a Honda. But I'm happy.
hey, that's the main focus. That's the main thing.
I started putting my money towards, stuff that further my goals. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I don't have the nicest car, but I have the nicest equipment to help me push my brand.
And see, that's the thing because like I feel as though most people when I was fresh out of college, I worked at Costco's for about 4.5 months.
Costco's?
Yes, sir. And I was still working on my business at the same time. And I mean, I hated the job, but I, loved the people that I worked with. I met people that were there for like over 27 years and in my mind, I'm like, why did you want to just, stay in this place?
That's
you never wanted to.
I gotta get
yeah. Why did you never want to?
I can't. I'm not being stuck here.
Yeah. Well, why did you never want to just do better? But one thing I will say, as far as like those jobs where I worked for people, it still taught me. Like I feel like those things on my resume, I've learned little bits and pieces that I gravitate and that can help me when it comes to my business. But I do think that, so many people in this world are so creative, but they're just hesitant. And that's another question I want to ask you guys. Like, why do you think people are hesitant when it comes into like, look, I want to start my own business. I want to start my own brand. They're just like,
I mean, I think it's just now this day and age, like it's a blessing and a curse is social media. It's like people, they always see, the success, but they don't understand like, there's going to be times where nobody is supporting you and you need to stop listening to that. Like when I made this, I didn't make it for my friends because I know my friends ain't going to buy it. Like, yeah, a couple of them bought it, but I'm not making it for my friends because that only goes so far.
Yeah.
Like I've done giveaways where you literally like it and share it and comment your 2 people and then they don't do it. And they're some of my closest friends. And I'm like,
no, I don't want to.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. It's like, you getting a free shirt, but then anytime something comes around, they talking about, you got discount, like blah, blah, blah. And it's like, because when I'm up there, when you couldn't even put a comment on an Instagram post.
Well, and that's why I enjoy, like, again, like cross promoting or brand building with you guys just on the show, because at the end of the day, there are people that you would think they're there for you, and they just say, okay, I want this, I want that, but they don't give you anything in return.
Like, it's not even like, oh, you don't support me because you didn't buy something. It's not even that. It's like you could just share the giveaway. Like it's money. Like I don't know what you got going on. If you can't buy it right now, that's fine. But the support and me seeing you share this thing and you mess with me because you understand what I'm saying, you believe in it, like that goes a long way too. The people don't understand that. They just because I feel, oh, well, I can wear it. Like I know a lot of people. Like
no, like for example, and I hate to toot my own horn, but it was still during the pandemic. I wanted to do like a little like a virtual or a Facebook Live like pop-up shop. So instead of doing a pop-up shop in person, I knew people were like hesitant. So I said, look, let me hit up a few of my friends that are business owners. Let's do a little virtual pop-up shop through. And I asked JJ to come along because at the time JJ just started his brand, really wasn't as far as going any spots, having a setup. I said, oh, look here, get your pipes, wet a little bit, get warmed up as far as presenting your brand, all that good stuff. And let's just do it here. And I mean, again, I just wanted to help him with that because JJ was there for me when as far as when I had to when I first started with Rugged, as far as promoting it and going to small event shows. So I'm like, here, look, I'll buy some stuff, but I also want to return the favor and get you warmed up because at the end of the day, everything is practice. Everything is practice. Whatever we do is practice. You got to learn from each thing, each event you go to, each shirt that you design is all a process. For you, probably each show that you do is all about practice. I got to practice my craft 24/7. Same with this show. Practice. When I first started, I was awful. I was like,
you were.
welcome. Oh, thanks,
you
Rock.
You weren't good. You weren't good.
I appreciate it. I really wasn't. I was
hosting the show well, everybody. We got beard care.
But it's like,
I'm sorry.
I appreciate it. That's all out of love, y'all. That's all out of love. Okay.
You're not like that now. You're not like that now.
I wasn't before. I would probably walk out and cried in the corner, But right now I can take it, damn it. I can take those hits. Bring it on, damn it.
Who's the one with iPad?
But seriously though, it's like I wish people were a little more more confidence when it comes to that, because I understand it could take a financial hit, but people just say, well, they second guess themselves, man. I mean, I see commercials now with people create a freaking, and I've said it 1,000 times, but like it's an umbrella that flips over, that opens inside out, right? And it's freaking genius. When it's pouring down rain, instead of people opening their door wide, they crack it, lift it through it and open it, and then they're good to go. It's genius. People are like saying, damn, why did I think of that? Why did I think of that? Well, you did. You just didn't take that leap of faith. And I can't stand when I always hear like, why did I think of that? I should have thought of that. I should have.
I see you didn't ask my opinion, but I'm gonna
tell my bad. You were talking shit about that. I tried to ignore it.
I do hear what y'all coming from on that aspect, but I believe there's also a point of accountability. You got to understand that when you're an entrepreneur, everything is your fault, good or bad. Everything is your fault. And some people, they live off that ability to say, I blame her. I blame him. I blame McDonald's for having my life fucked up. Why don't they pay me more? I blame Snooks. Oh, that's a grocery store in the Midwest. What y'all got? What y'all got? Kroger. I blame Kroger. I blame Kroger for not paying me this much for bagging these groceries. It's their fault. My life isn't where I want it to be. That accountability, when you're an entrepreneur, is the reason why you're not at where you want to be at is because of you. Regardless of the support, regardless of the reposting, regardless of who's buying your product, you're not making it because of you. If you do make it, guess what? It's because of you. You did this. You put the grind. You put the study. You paid attention to the demographic. You paid attention to the marketing. And now you're on top. It's all your fault. Granted, you had help, but it's your fault. Some people scared of that accountability because if you fuck up, who do you blame?
That's like a big thing with me is like, I know that my craft is going to take a little bit longer because I'm doing this literally all by myself. Besides like making the designs, like I have the vision for the designs, but graphic designer.
Which are dope, by the way.
I need to do that.
I need to watch.
Can't draw, none of that. But I have the vision for it. And so like I have somebody that does that. But that whole aspect is like, because I had some people that were taking pictures and stuff. And it's like, now like I'm just doing the pictures by myself. It's because like not everybody understands what it all means to me. And so like I put it out there, like I like explaining the graphics and the logos and where it came from in my mindset. But it's like if you're not really buying into the vision, like I'm not gonna have you take a picture in it. Because
I have a question.
This last drop.
Am I allowed to ask questions?
Yeah.
Do I have that as
like this last drop, I literally was in my backyard. I have like this little grassy type area with some branches and like an old ass bench. And I took a little $30 Amazon selfie stick and set it up in different types of ways and had my own little photo shoot just off that. And I did that off the top of my head. Yeah. Because my boy that takes my pictures, he wasn't free that weekend and I didn't want to wait.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
And so like that's like the thing with me is like you always got to keep going with that type of mentality and like not let nothing stop.
My question is, say you move next month 1 million units, and then those people who purchased your brand, they start requesting other stuff. Do you cater your business to your newfound audience, or do you keep like, all right, this is what means a lot to me, and this is what I'm going to make, regardless of what they're asking for? They don't know. Or do you like be like, all right, this is what they ask for, sure, I'll do that?
You mean like design wise or like clothing, like the
I guess styling? Cause so your style is like oversized tee, like like a chill aspect, right?
Yeah.
Like almost where you see bands wearing a lot of that type of fit and stuff. Say those people who buy your gear, that first initial drop, they really like it, but then that's not necessarily your demographic. Do you change for this newfound audience, or do you just stay the same and just hope?
I mean, I think it just goes hand in hand and like evolving. I mean, like you mentioned, like the band stuff, like that's the type of stuff I'm into. Like I wore some band shirt at a concert I went to 2 nights ago. It was a random dude. He's like, "Yo, where'd you get that shirt?" I'm like, "Bro, you don't want to know." Some band you never heard of, I promise you. But it's like stuff like that. Like I relate to a lot of different things because I've been like around a lot of different people in life. But I would never say that I wouldn't wear something or design something that I wouldn't fully
Wear personally.
Yeah. And so, like, I know, like, because eventually, like, yeah, like, you want to be in, like, a higher class worth of, like, clothes. Because, like, I was, like, I want to be able to dress up and still, like, have, like, a tee that's obviously not so oversized, but I can tuck it in and still, like, maybe wear a blazer with it.
Right.
Just something to change it up. Like, Fear of God, Jerry Lorenzo, he's, like, real big into that type of stuff where it's, like, it's still streetwear, but he has collaborations with high, like, Italian suit designers. And, like, he has his own line of that. And so, like, eventually I want to branch off with that because, like, I mean, not everything can have a message in it, like,
right.
But still, like, the basis of the company, I want that to be like mental health and like everybody has some type of demons that they gotta address.
So then, in that case, you want the message to stay consistent.
Yeah,
Stay consistent though. That's a good question. That's a good question, though. That's a good question.
It matters.
Like, you like just look, you can't sell out because like
I feel like you will still stay. You could still stay consistent because regardless, they still gonna buy. Their audience is gonna buy it, and then it's like it's not really a loss if I stay the same because they're gonna continue to grow in that aspect.
I mean, but like I wouldn't if they were like I don't even know.
Like I wouldn't want you to change, but I'm just saying if you just like what is going on right now, just me being me, and it's building on this demographic and. I mean, hey, this side is still buying, maybe not as much as this side, but regardless,
sales, like,
still going on.
I think a lot of
money
people,
still
like,
making.
they're not really comfortable with oversized tees, but like they'll like get their true to size and like go up, please go up.
See, this is
because
why
I don't like wearing shirts where they're like this. No offense, but but like it's not comfortable. And like if I see somebody they have like one of my shirts that's like that, I'm like, you're not wearing it right. I'm sorry. But I just
so. You know, from a performer aspect, sometimes you get after a show, you'll get someone who comes in and say, look, you were crazy funny. I just wish you talked more about this. So that's what I mean. It's like, oh, your comedy is crazy funny. It's oversized t-shirt.
Yeah.
But
no, like
can you lay in some fitted joints just in case?
That's a good question. And I didn't mean to cut you off, Jay, but that's a good question because I have the same thing as far as with people coming towards me about, you know, have you ever had like an unscented, you know, beard oil and beard balm because I have allergies or you ever thought about doing this scent? And I listen, don't get me wrong, I'm say, you're just one person. You know, I still listen because at the end of the day, you know, if it branches off to multiple people, then I'm like, man.
That's what I was going to ask. So at what point do you change? So at what point do you say, all right, a lot of people who's buying my stuff, they really asking for a fitted shirt.
Yeah.
And a lot of people who's buying my stuff is really asking for hair grease instead of
well,
beard.
it's
like, when do you listen?
Yeah. You can definitely hear them out and like look into what changes I need to make, but also look at the risks too. If it comes with risks as far as, okay, if I change this, what risks am I going to be looking?
Yeah.
What am I trying to say? Examine the risk beforehand. Then, you know, once you start and it's like, dang, I'm starting to lose a little bit because they're not like, you know what I mean? So you definitely got to look to see how the change will, you know, show as far as on my branding. But if it's just like, hey, I can make a little, you know, small slip up or small, you know, change here and there, or hey, I can add that one cent.
I quantified it. I actually quantified my number to 5. So say I do a penis joke. If 5 people in that show that heard that penis joke, they say, you know what? I don't like you talk about your dick like that. I might have to consider removing that joke from the set.
We had this last season, y'all. He's always talking about penis. So I'm joking.
What, I should have said pussy?
I
have pussy.
We don't.
So at like what point do I listen? And I quantified it. All right, 5 people. I'm thinking, all right, if I was in a stage where I was performing in front of 100,000 people, that would have been 500 people who said, listen, you know, that particular dick joke wasn't good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's a large number. So it's like your ratio. with your shirts. Someone says, you don't do enough hats. And 12 people say that. When you look on a larger frame, when you look at a larger pool, that 12 people can be 12 million.
Yeah.
It can be 12 million people who's
No,
thinking,
that's true.
we want an internal hat. Like,
That's like the thing is like I try to like outfits and stuff, like I try to have them in different scenarios. Like I was talking about, like where I can dress up and tuck one in, or I can wear it to the gym and I can wear it out. It's like different types of environments that people are in. And like sometimes like I'll show somebody like a preview of something and they're like, because like there was one I had a quote and I had like the eternal with the 19XX at the end, because the last word was eternal in the quote. It's like, oh, well, it's kind of, the eternal's kind of out of the way. I'm like, because it's just going with the quote. It's like, I want you to read the quote and then see it at the end. Like, I don't need it to be front and center.
Right.
And you're like, damn, I didn't really think about it that way. It's like,
so now when you explain the art,
it's like, I think about all this stuff, but it's hard because like anytime you just ask somebody for advice, it's like sometimes that's the first time they think of it. And that's something that you thought about. So I just need to explain
my dick better. And make it so you understand the art of my penis and not necessarily
stick on this side. Cross the line. He does that. If he does that, they're gonna be throwing tomatoes at you.
I thought it was good.
But you know, everybody, like a consumer wise that doesn't know your whole mission statement, your whole brand, and they're gonna create their own, like everybody's gonna create their own message of your brand. Like for example, oh man, last season we had Allison Moore on, comedian Allison Moore. She had a brand called Black Hilarious. She had her brand called Black Coffee Please. And one of the guys had said, you know, your message is this, but I see it in a different way. I have this message.
Yeah.
Same for, you know, okay, so for rugged is the new smooth is like kind of my slogan. And I go by as far as whether you're a labor worker or working in corporate America, you can still be a man of distinction while rocking a well-groomed beard. Another gentleman, comedian we were talking about earlier today, he brought it up by saying, you know, you can start off with something rough. You can start off on a rough patch, but you know, after using a product, you can end off on a great slate and stuff. And it's like, I never thought about that way. So everybody's gonna kind of define your business, your brand in a different
way. You gain fans through them watching the evolution. Some people just love the fact of the growth, and that's what they're the fan of.
Exactly.
It might necessarily not even be the actual product itself. It's just that they've seen it from the beginning, and they see you now, and they just have to applaud you and support you.
That's right. That's
another thing, because like how I said, I like to put out there what this means to me and where it came from. And it's like, I have like a lot of like written texts and like I have like blogs and stuff talking about this stuff, and it ain't always gonna catch with somebody, but like they know it. But as long as they know that I'm just not putting out some graphic, because that's what I hate, is people that just put something on a shirt. What does it mean? Oh,
what Abercrombie and Fitch? What Abercrombie? Who is it?
Is it Abercrombie? No. It's
what's that documentary that just came out?
It was.
Is it Abercrombie?
Yeah.
Yeah, they was just putting stuff on a shirt just because they knew people would buy it.
It's me, like, if that shirt's whack, then I'm whack. And so like I take a lot of steps to make sure, it has no substance, like, blah, blah, blah. So like I make sure, like, that's like I said, it's fun for me to have some substance because I've been through so much stuff and been around a lot of people. Like a lot of people can relate to this type of stuff. About stuff that people aren't comfortable talking about.
He trying to cut us off.
I am trying to cut y'all. Y'all talk too much. But no, we fellas, again, this is what I love about doing, this show, fellowshipping with you all, speaking on some great stuff. Because one thing, we're speaking on some great facts that hopefully somebody that's listening or is watching can kind of, can learn from. Next up, when we get back, we're going to be having Brand Strategist, our guest, Mr. Isaac Hamm III. But before we do that, I got to make some shout outs to our sponsors, the Dapaloo Collection. Also, Castagno Modafina, another great clothier company. Shoe Crazy Wine, you see JJ feeling.
He killed that bottle. He killed that bottle. No one else has poured a cup.
Gwen Hurst, Shoe Crazy Wine, black owned, a great brand. They're expanding into the spirit. They're starting with their whiskey and moonshine. We're going to be having that on the show pretty soon. Of course, Ingenious Gin. Black owned, veteran owned gin, rose gold gin. Okay. And as again, we want to spotlight our brands that we have here with us. So JJ,
this is a new design from last season that y'all haven't seen. This shirt isn't actually out. Just kind of wearing it, testing the waters. The hat is out. demons to some, angels to others. You know, that's like a thing in this great movie I watched, Hellraiser. I've always like knew of the movie, but I was like terrified to watch it when I was younger. Then I finally watched it, and then he finally comes in, and she's like, "What are you?" He's like, "Demons to some, angels to others." And that was like a quote that stuck to my head because it's like I could meet you, and we could have a bad time together, and you think I'm a piece of shit, but somebody else, they would think I'm literally like the best person in the world. It's just like how you catch people on those certain days.
I feel it. There's definitely some women out here who wish I was hung.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God.
There's definitely wish I was.
Okay.
There's so many women who wish I was strange fruit. Yeah. They wish it. But not everybody.
So, but you can relate to that. I'm not going to that level, but yeah, you can relate. And so, like, that's something that that type of quote, like, stuck to me. It's like a lot of people can relate to that.
That's probably, well, Jay, how can people follow you on all this stuff?
Eternal19xx.com, at Eternal19xx on Instagram. I got a TikTok, got like 3 videos. I'm still trying to build up on that. TikTok is another jungle that I don't really care for, but I mean, you could pop off on there. So we on there.
Alrighty, so we're gonna move it on to Mr. Ross, right? You know, you got your famous brand. Come on, man.
Is this my joint? All right, is that one gonna be a close up too, or like what's my angles here that we working? Look, I'm a bad mama jamma who you wish slept with your mama. I love stand-up comedy, man. I really do, and I take it to an aspect of this is a window to my life, and I hope you enjoy what you hear, and what you learn, and hopefully you start to question what you believe. Put you in the box as far as social norms. So we got a show coming up tonight. Hopefully I can get people questioning their own beliefs on why do I do the things that I do. Stand-up comedy is an art form. I love it to death, and I do anything to preserve that art. If you run up on my stage, it's not going to end up well for you. Follow me on Instagram, man. The Real Syroc. SYROK is how you spell it. It's not like the vodka. I'm a lot older, a lot wiser, a lot sexier. Let's just be honest, man. I'm the shit. And our Smooth podcast is y'all get to see me a lot now.
Oh
so
my
y'all
goodness.
get to see me a lot.
Oh dear.
And when I get fired, you know we had a great time.
And ladies and gents, of course, you know I gotta shout out Rugged Evolution Beard Care, the hottest beard care line on the market with 16 amazing scented beard bombs, beard oils, everything all natural, helping your facial hair care needs. We got some new scents coming out soon. For more information, you can go to ruggedevo.com. Please remember, Rugged is the new smooth. When we come back, we'll have our guest, Mr. Isaac Hamm III. We'll be back with our Smooth Club podcast.
I'm a master of my mind. Manipulate the masses with motivation to move. This is the only chair I'll volunteer to sit in. Spinning and spinning. Each loop past the mirror, I see a better me. In true destiny, confidence is key, so these 2-week cleanups won't be memories. Hey, barber, do you think it's possible to reshape the temple that holds my thoughts? Shape up in the hub makes me bold my walk, cause sometimes a lineup could be your savior. Do you think it's ironic that I can monetize my work when I stick to the master plan and get my taper? No more thoughts of getting burned by the system, and this new product doesn't burn my taper. Thank you. Let's normalize uncovering our bodies from that sheet, and we look stunning when it comes off, cause we are masters of our mind. Manipulate the masses with motivation to move. Each cut allows more and more room to grow.
All right, ladies and gents, so our guest on today's show is Mr. Isaac Hamm III, brand strategist, host of Love Your Brand podcast. We're so excited to have him on. Before I introduce our guest, I want to kind of give a quick bio on him. Mr. Isaac. Okay, so for more than 20 years of experience in managing brands, Isaac has worked with countless organizations and celebrities such as the City of Philadelphia, the City of Atlanta, the United Negro College Fund, E1 Entertainment, Verizon Wireless, Lexus, two-time Grammy-winning Algebra Blessed, multi-platinum selling group SWV, actor Jalen Hall, and multi-award winning Cheryl Lee Ralph. In 2010, Isaac was designated as the new face of advocacy for the International Holiday Black Music Month, happening in the month of June, by mentor and co-founder Diana Williams. Coined the godson of Black Music Month, Isaac has honored over 50 honorees for his work and contributions to the music industry during the annual Black Music Month event titled The Comeback. The Comeback is produced in Philadelphia, Atlanta, and Nashville. So without further ado, we have Mr. Isaac Hamm III. Isaac, what's going on with you, brother?
What's going on, man? Happy to be here. Good afternoon, everybody on the show. How are you?
Well, we're so excited to have you, boss. Well, look, so all of the co-hosts, we're all entrepreneurs, business owners, and we're big on when it comes to branding. Now, you being a brand strategist, what is the true definition of branding?
Well, the true definition of branding is my mantra is the brand is you. So I'm always looking when I'm dealing with new clients and just individuals and that's just having a regular conversation. It's all about you. The brand is you. That's one of our mantras. But a brand is pretty much something that's consistently doing the same thing. So if you set yourself to be a brand, whatever specific thing that is, whether it's a coffee drinker, that brand just needs to be consistent. It needs to be, if you're drinking Starbucks versus Dunkin' Donuts versus cafe style, that is the brand. So defining a brand is really being consistent with the thing that you want your people to like, whether it's a personal brand or whether it's a business. You want your consumers or your relationships with different people to understand that you are the same person every time you see them, right? So it's like our personality. So I'm always telling people the brand is you because it's our personality, is what we want. You got people that create a brand and they have to stay consistent with it. But I like when people are naturally themselves and they're consistent in what they want people to glean from whatever they're selling or whatever they're presenting as a person. With branding too, we have to remember that there is a thing called marketing. We have marketing and PR and advertisement. So we have to know who we're marketing to when we have a brand that is specifically for something, whether like this podcast, the brand is other entrepreneurs, right? Or it's for maybe your demographic is more men than women listening because it's a cast of men that are on this panel. So that is the real meat of a brand. We have to be consistent with that, but we also have to know what our target demographic is going to be, and that's through marketing. So marketing gets kind of lost in the word branding, but we need to keep that in the forefront because we still got to do the 1+1 to equal what we want.
Well, and that is so true. And I think when it comes to branding, we see it a lot now in today's age when it comes to, social media, public figures, people becoming self-made millionaires just off of, social media, as far as, what am I trying to get? Sponsors, or, hey, I'm wearing this free wear because I'm branding them. I got to make sure I got a clean record, because if not, I might get canceled. I mean, you have comedians, actors, if they say anything, it all relates to their branding. How important really is branding as far as for small businesses, startup businesses, or just businesses in general? How important is branding for that?
Well, I want to add to what you were saying in reference to good publicity, bad publicity, the brand being good to the public or bad. That's always a scale of people's desire. You know what I mean? Because you got the rapper girl, Suki or whatever her name is, she just released a song, right? And I wanted to go to church after listening to that, because I was like, what did I just listen to? Like, that was like 30 years of my life that I could not get back. And it's like, yeah, she's popping and locking and stuff, but then I'm looking at her brand and I'm like, she really don't look like she washed up today. Like, but people are into that. You get what I'm saying? But she's million. I mean, I would assume she's making millions doing this because she's.
No.
Oh, Hold on.
You can't say something that funny and have bad Wi-Fi.
No. He's gonna come back on, y'all. We haven't too. Well, look, while we hurry up and get him on, fellas, what was your some of your take as far as when it comes to branding? Because we all are business owners here. Jay, you're a business owner. Oh, I think we got him back. We got you back, Isaac.
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay, awesome. Man, you kind of broke up a little bit, but yeah, I mean, when you stopped at that, speaking on the artist, like, is there such thing as when it comes to bad branding? Because let's be real, we live in an era where reality TV, which to me is nothing but just trash, regardless. You never see anything positive when it comes to reality TV. So, is that a kind of bad branding, or is it good branding to them because their base is fans of the show? I'll just say Love and Hip Hop, for example,
Right?
Like they're fans of the show, or what's the network? It's called Zeus. I think Zeus Network. Yeah, I mean every single show they have on there is like it's giving you the wrong narrative. So I mean, would that be considered bad branding or good branding for them?
It would be good branding in a bad way, right? Because that they say nothing is new under the sun. So all the ratchetness that we see is not new under the sun. It's just not, a camera's just not focused on it. So you have a neighborhood of people who love this ratchet TV because they live that life. Because everybody doesn't have a job. Everybody doesn't have a 401k. Everybody doesn't have life insurance, right? Everybody don't say thank you and God bless or whatever. They ready to fight. So you have that's a target market for a Zeus network. And it's also low-key a target market for somebody that puts on a shirt and a suit and a dress and sit behind a desk every day, because a lot of people outlet is to watch people who are tearing their lives down, and that gives people gratification. So just like people watch Dr. Pimple Popper, I would never sit there and pop nobody's pimple, but to watch, like, oh shoot, okay, she's touching it, but I would never do it, right? But how many
every time he say something funny,
people are gonna oh damn.
Yeah, what were you saying? That say it one more time. You're breaking up a little bit.
I was just saying, every time, nobody wants to admit to watching Pimple Popper or My 600-Pound Life or whatever that show is, and we get gratification of low-key get gratification of looking at people that are going through struggles we would never go through. So it's just it's just weird. It's just a target market. A lot of the rich people or wealthy people are built off of ratchetness and we buy into it, whether we watch it for 5 seconds. Because you got to think about it. Like this podcast, if you get so many people that tuned in, then a sponsor may say, okay, they got 12,000 people listening in that month or that week, but it's all about the sponsors, all about the person who's willing to invest in that brand, who's going to make that decision. Because everything don't need 1 million eyes on it. It may need 50,000. It may need just 2,000. You know what I mean? So look, all these publications interviewing all these people, and they got 30 people watching, but they're on the red carpet interviewing these same people that Bossip and all those other people are. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
But people want to interview because why? Because they have a microphone in their hand. And they just assume if you're on this line, this media line, this pit with Bossip and BET and all that stuff, I might as well do your interview because they're on there. You're on the same platform with them. That makes sense?
It makes perfect sense.
So
would you got anything to say to
yeah. So I study my demographic, and that's how I cater my marketing, and overall, that's how I build my brand. My demographic is 67% Black women between the ages of 25 to 45. I know that for a fact. So, in turn, my art has cultivated to that market. Does that alienate the men who watch my content? No, but I do definitely push towards the entertainment and catch their eyes for Black women. That's who watch, that's who pay, that's who like me the most. So when it comes to marketing, with me having that knowledge, I know I can't slip up and say certain things that other comedians can say freely.
Gotcha.
I know I can't say, like, I would never say this. You know what? I'm not even going. I hate all. You know what I mean? You're not gonna get me on tape actually saying it. Not gonna cut that. But I know if I was to say that, then I would basically have to start over as a brand,
exactly,
and remarket to a new audience, because I just shat on the ones who's paying attention.
That's true.
So he was saying how good branding but bad what is it? What was
You said good branding, but and bad branding.
Good branding in a bad way.
Oh, in a bad way.
In a bad way. So that go ahead.
So what I would say, women are the demographic that purchase for men. You know what I mean? So and don't quote me, but I know for sure that women buy more than men. So women will buy for the man will buy for himself to do, like, depending on what it. So if it's like a Valentine's Day, you got women that's buying more for the man than the man is buying for the woman, because they're just naturally they want to give. So the demographic, you're pretty in a good space, I would say, because women would then involve the men in their lives to join the movement. So even if you found a crossover to where you're like, I'm having a comedy show, and then maybe it's a Valentine's Day thing or whatever, Women's Month, which is March, and you may have a comedy show and you get the men in there. So how you then target that demographic that are unaware of you is that you make it relatable in your set to get the men engaged with what you're saying, and then you grow your male followers or couples. Maybe that's a demographic that you don't have, that you may have, and you may start doing couples whatever's, and then maybe it's buy your husband this shirt that I'm selling because I only have it in men's and it smells like whatever lavender, and they like, I want that for my man. So you definitely have a great demographic, because women will buy for their man. I like this man. I met him on Instagram. Oh my God, I'm in love. And then I'm bought 5 of your shirts just to impress this man.
True. So look, Jay, so keep on getting in and out with technology, but like when it comes to branding for you, Jay, you're focused on bringing awareness to mental health. So like, as far as what you're basing everything.
I mean, with me, like I love like the oversized tees and that type of streetwear and that culture.
Is good.
I like to revert it back to something where it's like, oh, you see a logo and stuff, and you think that's cool, but it has a deeper message to it. So that's like my thing. Like I have fun that way, because like, yeah, any little design can look cool, but once you see it and it has something that has some substance and like you can relate to it, that's what like brings people in or like catch them like that.
Yeah, that's true. And it's all about the message too. Like for me, my whole, as far as branding wise and message, I have a men's grooming line, but like Isaac has said, as far as women being the predominantly that spend the most and shop the most, that's true, because I have mostly women that purchase, whether for their boyfriends, their husbands. Once the men get involved, they're like, I like it, my wife got it for me, or my wife likes it on me. I was kind of shy on getting it, but once I got it, I got compliments by the ladies and by my wife, so I'm like, I'm gonna keep on buying it. But really, ladies are the ones that are going to be doing the most shopping. But as far as branding, it's very important when it comes to businesses, and I try not to ever do anything to ruin that. But it's kind of men's grooming, you kind of can step outside the box. It's never really like really structuring, like what you said, right? Being a comedian, you're versatile, so you have a great variety where you can hit towards, as well as JJ. We're all business owners. We have our own brands. Isaac, I want to talk with you about your book titled 5 Easy Steps Building a Successful Brand. Now, what are some of those like 5 easy steps for upcoming business owners that want to take that leap of faith and say, hey, I want to start a business, or I just want to create a brand for myself?
What number? I know for sure the fifth step that I always talk about is being consistent. And it whether it's being consistent with trying out different things to see who likes what within your brand. Of course, knowing your target demographic, understanding your brand, because people sometimes, like, it's a lot of things now because of social media and because of the pandemic. We went 2 years, and an increase in entrepreneurship happened, whether you still had a 9-to-5, but in that downtime of collecting the check before going back into work or figuring out how to work from home, we started creating stuff. So knowing your brand's personality, knowing your target demographic, being consistent. What's the other one? I think, what I do give you 4.
You gave me, I think that was 3. I think that was 2 right there.
Consistent, knowing your target demographic, knowing your brand's personality, understanding your brand, and you done got me on the spot. I'm like, I knew all 5 of them before you asked me the question. But get the book, though. Get the book.
Hey, that's the main thing. Get the book. Get the book. Which can be found on Amazon. If you type in, Isaac Hamm III, or
The Brand is You, 5 Easy Steps to Building a Successful Brand. And with that book, I actually released it in 2020 through the pandemic. And I just recently released, actually like a birthday gift to myself. I just turned 40 in December, and I have The Brand is You, Changing Your Perception, which is a workbook. So the workbook helps.
They past 39.
That's what I'm saying. They passed 39.
What happened?
He said you didn't. You said Ciroc said you didn't look a day over past 39.
Oh yeah, a couple months. I'm like, I don't look like the drugs that I do. No, I'm just joking. I don't. It's the joke that it falls flat sometimes, and other times they're like, "What drug is that?" And I'm like, "I'm just joking." But yeah, I just feel like with the workbook, I feel like a lot of people had the content in their hand, and then they were like, well, where do I place this? So in the workbook, you have your SWOT analysis. I talk about how to do a vision board, even though we think it's simple, but sometimes you guys see it written out in steps of what do I do first? Where do I get this piece of paper from? I don't know that I need these things. And then I ask other questions like, what is your brand's personality? Because they see me talking that you should get one, but where do you put this information? And with the workbook, it's interchangeable because I always tell people you can have a 6-month goal and it can change after the 6 month. Like you may say, I want to get this amount of money in my bank account. Okay, once you get it, then you have to now reset. So I always encourage people, even with the workbook, I don't want people to buy 5 to 10 workbooks. Just buy one workbook, use a pencil, and do what you need to do. Because it's not really about the money. It's about people walking away, reading this, or doing the workbook and doing the work. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like buy another one. You can't, no. I actually, when people buy the book, I send them a pencil just to encourage them to be able to know that they can make a change. But that's branding. So they don't even realize, oh, shoot, I'm not using the pen. I can erase this and say, shit, oh, I made this. I already sold these many books. Okay, I can change this. Now I want to sell another book and I want to do something different. And the big thing that I get excited about when talking to people is the SWOT analysis. And that's knowing your strength, your weakness, your opportunity, and your threats. And if you write those things down, and always encourage people, it's okay to put 4 things, the same thing in all 4 boxes. So you just basically get a box. You get a piece of paper and do 4 boxes in SWOT. And like I always use an example, I'm talkative, right? That is a strength, but it's also a weakness. It's also an opportunity. It's also a threat because I can speak, I can talk, I can speak well, but then I may go into a political room and I don't know politics. So that is a weakness. But my opportunity is that I can learn political, views and all this stuff and know who's doing what. And I can also learn bigger words so I can have these different conversations. A quick story, I went to an event, this banking event, and everybody had had LinkedIn. And I was like, I'm glad I had it on my phone because it wasn't what's your Instagram. It's literally like, what's your your LinkedIn. And with LinkedIn, you can't message. I couldn't message you 50 times. I gotta wait for you to respond to me. So even knowing that mindset of the person asking me, I gotta wait for them to respond to me for me to then possibly send them a contact or send them whatever. But that's a different demographic of people. Everybody want to give you Instagram, but you find somebody with a link tree, a LinkedIn.
Link tree, yeah. The only fan links be. The link tree, boy, that'd be mini vids and OnlyFans.
No, you know what? No, my link tree is about me, about my website, buy my book, one-on-one consultations because I charge.
I got what's OnlyFans name?
Look, ignore Ciroc, ignore this brother. You need Jesus. You need Jesus. That's all.
But listen, any way to make money, but make it make sense though. I just say, make it make a lot of sense. But back to the SWOT analysis, but that's just the point. Like a threat of being talkative can be you can talk yourself out of making money or a contract or say something dumb and that's still talking. And it's like, oh shoot, I gotta learn how to not repeat myself or say too many times when speaking. So you can take those things and learn from each box. And then what you do too is take the word talkative in each box and you may start breaking down what talkative mean. And then you're like, damn, okay, I need to read a word a day. I need, learn a new word a day, all those things. But SWOT analysis, and people can Google it. People that are listening, just Google SWOT analysis and just do it yourself. You don't have to buy the book, but be better as a brand and know who your target demographic should be.
Well, definitely buy the book. Definitely buy the book, y'all.
Yeah.
I truly thank you, Isaac, for putting out the time out your schedule, man. I know you're crazy busy, and we definitely want to have you on again because this might need to be a part 2. We definitely want to continue to build up with so much knowledge when it comes to branding. You know, we have fun on this show, but we want to be informative to our listeners and viewers as well when it comes just entrepreneurship and business. Because I tell my friends, family all the time, you know, the cost of living is going to continue to increase. So it's best to always have multiple streams of income. You got to have multiple streams of income. And there's so many creative people out there that want to take that leap of faith when it comes to business, but they're a little anxious because when it comes to certain things that they need to learn, and, you know, you hit it on as far as branding, marketing, and all of the above. So we truly thank you, Isaac, for being on with us. You know, how are ways we can continue to follow you, support you, and all your future things you have going on?
So Instagram is Izzy Ike, IZZYIKE. It's also IM3Media on Twitter. But Instagram is like the fastest way too if people just DM me. But you can also visit my website. That's I as in Isaac, M as in Mary, the number 3 media.com. Yeah, just email me, DM me, or my link tree is on my Instagram, so you can find me and find more information about me and stuff like that. Yeah, so I'm excited. I'm always excited about doing this because that's the thing. You got to be excited. I just posted a video. I forget the guy. He's a podcaster, but white guy, and he cusses a lot, but he makes sense. And he talked about, he's like, we have to change the conversation. You know, 7 billion people. We say success is one. We say success is one thing, but after he was saying, like, when you wake up happy, that's successful. That's being success. You know, the money is one thing, but being happy about what you want to do and everything is always a plus. So I live by that. I wake up every day happy. My bank account is what it is, but my happiness surpasses that, you know, because I love what I do and I love talking to people and talking about branding and stuff like that. So
that's awesome, man. We're going to continue to support. Again, please follow this brother, man, and also support his podcast, Love Your Brand Podcast, available on anywhere where you listen to your podcast on. Ladies and gents, again, Mr. Isaac Hamm III. Isaac, we truly appreciate it, brother.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.